All right, so I got a customer that's looking for a wood fence with a hog panel infill. I know what you're thinking, that doesn't sound too hard. If you've been following the channel with any amount of time, you know that we do not use 4x4 wood posts. We need to figure out how to make this system, but use a trident post instead of a wood post. Let's go outside and figure out how we're gonna make this happen. So first things first, we're actually gonna set one up as a display. We're gonna go ahead and use a plated trident post, then we're gonna build off of those. And we're gonna use a hammer drill, we're gonna use some anchor bolts, and we're just gonna fasten these right down to the concrete. So obviously I'm installing this one on concrete, but if you install this in your backyard, on your porch, on your deck, on your driveway, you can drive in dirt, you can set in concrete, you can mount to concrete, you're gonna install it the same way regardless. Now we don't want any dust down there. We don't want anything between the bottom of the plate of the post and the top of the concrete, so all this dust right here, we just want to go ahead and blow it away. Get out of here. If you don't do that, what's going to happen is you're going to have a gap between your plate and your concrete, and you may not be able to get that post as tight as you want it to be. So make sure and clear all that dust out of there if you're going to do a method like this. Can you do that with a 4x4 post? I don't think you can. That brings us to the end of this video. Just kidding. That looks pretty good there. Now let me just go ahead and check out our panel. So we've got an 8-foot panel. Okay. So we should be able to just take our panel and go from center to center. So we're 36 inches tall. Let's go for about a 1-inch gap at the bottom. Let's plan for 2. So 2-inch gap, 36, 38. So we need to cut our post 38 inches tall. Wait. And then that has to sit on top. So that's 39.5. I'm trying to figure out how tall these posts need to be. Our panel is 36 inches tall. We want a 2-inch gap at the bottom. So that's gonna tell us that we need 38 inches. We're also gonna have a bottom 2x4, so that's gonna be 1.5 inches. So that's gonna be 39.5 inches. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a measurement from post to post, 94 3/16. Right there. No. That is not 94 3/16. 94 3/16 is right there. So what I'm thinking, this 2x4 is gonna go down here at the bottom. It's gonna sit in a position that it's not structural. If I really wanted to be structural, you would put your 2x4 like this. Like this, what's gonna happen over time is it's gonna sag, it's gonna have a belly. But we're gonna have this panel in there. There's not gonna be a lot of weight on this, there's gonna be weight on the ends, and the panel is also gonna help keep this 2x4 true. True? Get it? Did you get it? So what I'm doing is I'm taking some cedar 2x2s and I'm making my own channel to set that panel into. What I could do is I could just dado this entire 2x4 and take out the material, make it weaker. I think this way is gonna be a little bit cleaner. And hey, that's why we're doing this, because we're trying to figure it out. Something that looks nice, something that looks clean and presentable. But I have one more small problem. These posts right here, they've got all these flanges on them, and I want my 2x4 to sit in here. So what we gotta do is we gotta take a notch out of that 2x4 so that way we can fit it and slide it in between the flange to flange. And we're gonna get a thickness on this guy real quick. So we are 3/8 of an inch. So if we go all the way, we're a little bit wide. Pretty well 3/8. And I got equal there, equal there. I think when doing this in the field, I would make a template to make this go even faster. Custom takes a little bit longer. 1.5 inches. Double check ourselves. We're gonna cut a slit right there, and then that notch should be just enough to slide it in this channel. Look at that. So I did originally say 2 inches. If we were in the field, we'd actually have a mark on the post already. I already know what you're thinking. How are you gonna fasten that? We're gonna take a 3-inch screw and we're gonna hope on a prayer that we find a hole. Just kidding. For what I have in mind is taking some 3-inch stainless steel screws, All the fasteners you're gonna see throughout this video are stainless. We'll tell you why at the very end. We're just gonna run this screw through. Luckily, I managed to actually find a hole. So this screw goes all the way through here and into the other side, but passes through the post to lock it all together. We're gonna do this exact same thing on this side of the post. I can see the hole line right there. I'm gonna guess maybe right there. And I found that one too. So now this rail is fastened with those two fasteners to the post. We wanna go ahead and just double check our height. So I originally said 38 inches. Is that what I said? No, 36. Hey, look at that. It was right on my mark. I can go ahead and cut my post off now. Now we need to cut our 2x2s just right here, because that panel is going to go right on the back side here. We don't want to put a lot of screws, but we do want it to be well fastened. I think 5 is plenty. Oh, look at that, perfect. Yeah, I think it's gonna look great. It's going just as I planned. What we need now is we need the trim pieces for the front. So here and here, the two verticals. So those are gonna go right here. For this, I'm just gonna use about 3. So we're gonna cut 2 more of these. They're gonna go on the back side. Had to sneeze! All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut 2 more of these. They're gonna go on the back side and they're gonna sandwich that panel through the wood, through the post, into that to suck everything together. And if you're good at guessing, here's where it'll pay off. Because you can kind of see the holes. Nope. Nope. I would recommend a clamp when doing this. You don't have to sit there and hold it the whole time. That one hit. Pull that back straight. It also would help if I had a straighter drill bit. Hey, I got that one. Yes, I would 1000% suggest a clamp. I need one more 2x2. Nice and tight, just so I don't run the risk. The stakes always get higher the closer you get to finishing the project, and if you start taking shortcuts, like not pre-drilling, and especially cedar, which is a really soft wood, it does love to crack, and if you get all the way to the very end of your project and you took a shortcut and it cracks, you're going back. It's like the game of life. You're just going back halfway down the board game. As one of the very few Wyoming-based franchise companies out there, we're launching territories right now in Idaho, Utah, Colorado, Montana, Nebraska, and Wyoming. And if you've always watched our videos and thought, I could do that, this opportunity may be for you. So this is gonna be needed because you can see right now without finishing this, how this panel has a wave to it. We wanna sandwich this panel, we wanna picture frame it all the way around. And at the very end, we're gonna spice it up just a little bit more. I'm not gonna tell you. I'll show you at the very end what we're gonna do. So again, gonna do the same thing I just did on the back. So now it's time that we go ahead and screwing off the bottom because I never did that. We just want to match our screws, and then I'm going to do the same on the top. I'm going to screw them together. And if you were ever so worried about it, you could take some 3-inch screws and go on the bottom there, just so you're locking that panel in, even though it's already got all that pressure on it. I almost have that touching the horizontal there, and that is going to help this 2x4 from falling down if it wanted to fall down. Like I said in the very beginning of the build, I was talking about how we do not like to run the 2x4 like that. So just like the rest of the fence, we need to go ahead and cut these so that way we can nail our cover pickets too, because we're not done. If I had more panels to do, I would just keep going on. I'd have this seam in the center and do everything again like I already did. But since this is my end, this strip is gonna go all the way down. Now we can take our nice cover pickets, and that's gonna give us a nice reveal. Just try to make sure that we got the same amount of picket on each side, which we do. And we don't have to go getting crazy with screws. We wanna make sure that our picket is secure, but we don't wanna put so many in it that it looks bad. So I'm gonna do 4. And if you felt like it wasn't enough, you could always come back and throw 2 more in right there. You know, I think I am gonna add 2 more just there, just because I wanna control the warping and the bowing and we're making sure it's well fastened, but making sure it looks presentable. We're gonna do a nice 1x6 top here. And if I was gonna continue this on, I would do a 45 and lap. That's gonna make a really nice joint instead of just a straight butt joint. We use stainless steel fasteners in cedar because of the tannic acid. Have you ever seen a fence that just has all those black streaks down it? Maybe a month, 2 months old, and it's a cedar fence? It's because they didn't use an appropriate fastener. It's reacting with the tannic acid that's in the cedar, and that's causing those nice black streaks that nobody likes. So we're leaving this open because it's a display. We want to show how everything is built, but if this was for real, there would be a picket here as well. So once you trim it out like that, that is our take on how you would build this style of fence. Cedar framed, black powder coated, hog panel infill with steel posts that are so much better than wood. It's Dan with SWI. We are Wyoming's Fence Company. We hope you have a good dang day.